Hello, everyone. This is Matt LaMarche coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for joining the stream here. I really appreciate it. Today, I am super excited. First of all, this is episode number 1. And for me, this particular person holds a very, very special place in my heart, not just because of what he's done in our industry and in our business, but for everything that he's doing. And 30-ish minutes is not going to nearly be enough. So I'm going to make sure we link everything below that you need to know about our guest today. But again, super, super excited to announce this series with you guys. I'm going to introduce you to agents literally all over the country, North America, and actually the world now. So we've got a ton of awesome guests lined up. Really, really excited about it. And I could not be more happy to start out with my man, Levi. Levi, really, really quickly, 30 seconds or less, who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt. And I'm excited. This is the first episode. So congratulations. And my name is Levi Lascsak, and I tell stories about Dallas, Texas on YouTube to help the home buyer or seller make a more informed decision.
Absolutely. And so that's how we kind of got connected. Well, I guess we should rewind a little bit. We got connected through Clubhouse, and then I went to YouTube and started digging into some more of your stuff. And you know about this, this about me rather, that, when I was doing YouTube really hot and heavy when the pandemic hit, Clubhouse hit, and then I abandoned YouTube, which now looking back is like, oh, there's so much opportunity there. So for the people that have zero idea who you are, you mentioned it. You tell stories about, Dallas and the surrounding areas and stuff, but you do it in a very, very unique way, right? And you've mentioned this several times, not just to me, but I know in many Clubhouse rooms and videos even. How do you tell stories about Dallas? Because a lot of people are like, how do you unpack that? Like, unpack that a little bit for us on how did you come up with this strategy, but also what are the results as a result of these videos and this channel that you've created?
Yeah, so it was I was looking for the best way to reach people, on a scalable level, really, because it was just something that one-to-one relationship building or even conversations is extremely time consuming. And I just feel like you're always going to be in the same position over and over again, kind of like starting over every day, right? And so I just wanted to get the message out more for people. Plus, in Texas right now in general, even Dallas, we have a great opportunity of mass migration. There's a lot of people moving out of the coastal states to Dallas, Texas. And so, people are looking for information. What does Dallas look like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? And I know you can't really smell something on YouTube, but you can get a much better sense. And that's where people are really going to search their information. Actually, you sent me the article, which I appreciate, that 82% of consumers will make their buying decisions based on video in 2022. And that's up from, I believe the stat this last year was 70%. So it's just increasing ever more. And it's just the best way, I believe, to be found. And so from that standpoint, we've helped 80 families so far this year relocate to Dallas, Texas. And they tell us over and over again how helpful our videos are to help them narrow down neighborhoods and, the surrounding areas. And so really, whenever I say tell stories, this is the great thing. If you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, your content is your city. I believe that's the most powerful form of content, is your city. And what even makes it better is your perspective and your experience and your stories about your city is what people are looking for. And so that's why they're going to YouTube. Even if there's there's 10 other real estate agents that have channels on YouTube, it doesn't matter, because ultimately people are attracted to people like themselves. And so the right people that watch your videos and want to work with you, they'll feel a connection to you, and the video helps them build a relationship with you before they even reach out to you. Once they reach out to you, they've already made that decision to work with you. And so it's much better, I believe, a client experience, because they come to us and they want to work with us. And so that just makes everything so much smoother. And the fact that we pretty much have the same personalities, because again, like attracts like. And that's the other great thing. It's just like, people watch different real estate shows on TV, and it doesn't stop HGTV from releasing a new real estate show every year. They don't say, hey, I think the real estate shows are saturated, let's not do another one. So, but even us as real estate agents, or if you're not a real estate agent, you watch every single real estate show and you would choose one real estate agent out of all of them to work with. And that's likely because you probably feel a connection with them over the other agents. And so for us, it doesn't, we just create the content and the value and help people get a better idea of Dallas, Texas in general. But then I incorporate my 20 years of living here and my experiences and growing up in Texas. And so I just try to paint that picture for them so they can get the best idea possible. And that's what people really thank us over and over and over again. And, it's just a great opportunity because it does so much prep for us too. It really makes it so much easier when people come into town, because they have a significant amount of knowledge now about the area. And so we're not starting from ground zero whenever they get here. So it really helps us as agents and as a team as well, to reduce our workload. Well, I mean, we're doing the work up front, but that's the thing. One of my good friends, one of your good friends, Amanda Dahl, says, if you have to do something twice, then you need a process or a system for it. And really, that's the cool thing about making videos about Dallas, is now I'm able to tell that story once, but it's able to get out to more than one person at a time. And so it really lays the groundwork, the foundation. But again, it helps them build the relationship with us so that whenever they reach out to us, they've chosen to work with us. And then we don't have to start from scratch explaining every single thing about Dallas. So it really shortens the time they're in town, the time to find them a home. And our average client contact to under contract is 50 days. And the reality of that is it's probably sooner, because most of the time people don't come into town for 30 or 40 days. So if we actually ran those numbers, that I'm going to do that now that I just thought of that. So
well, that's what I love about our relationship, right? Is that just in talking, right?
Yeah.
You instantly come up with, well, I need to be looking at that. And I'm the same way, because you and I did this little exercise. We were like, how much does Levi get paid to make a video, right? And so two quick things I want to touch on there real quick that you mentioned, because you're exactly right. I didn't move at all as a kid. I'm born and raised. I've never lived anywhere else except for Atlanta. So when I started hearing you talk about Dallas and people moving to Dallas, or anywhere for that matter, I was like, that's right. I would if I were moving to San Diego, I would go to YouTube and I would start to look at agents, because generally speaking, agents know a ton about their area, their community, the neighborhoods, the homes that are available, like everything. They know the coffee shop owner and the new restaurant in town. Like, that's where you start. That's why real estate agents are in the position that they are. Yes, they may be really, really good at, creating content around that and marketing, because I've said this before, that the greatest marketer will win, right? Not the greatest real estate agent. And so, and the other thing I wanted to unpack, because I showed you your YouTube channel there real quick, was 7,100 and something subscribers now. I guarantee, Levi, someone's watching this going, well, it's easy for him to say he's got 7,000 subscribers. He started a year ago, people. Like, literally, it's December 10th. Yep. You started December 5th with this stuff. And so unpack a little bit about the business. And you don't have to share every number that you guys have done. I mean, you already talked about the number of families that you guys have helped, but especially for the consumer out there, the client that's like, you know what, we have been thinking about moving to Dallas, or, our job has a big opportunity in Dallas. So unpack the numbers a little bit in terms of what you guys have created as a result of the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, and let me go back to something you just said. Like you said, if you were moving from San Diego to Atlanta, you would search for real estate agent. Well, actually, I think that's because you're a real estate agent, but we capture people the step before that, because I don't believe most people think about searching for a real estate agent first. They think about searching the information. And what happens is that we're we show up everywhere. You know, we're not just in the real estate business, we're in the digital real estate business. So we own so much digital real estate on YouTube that you cannot get around us if you search Dallas, Texas. Now that takes time to build up, but see, we're catching people in the research phase before they've even considered looking for a real estate agent. And then when we're the ones that continually provide them value over and over again, then it's almost like they have to choose us by default, right? Because they're kind of like, well, you know, we watched 25 of this guy's videos, we might as well give him a call. And plus, in every video, I'm like, hey, if you're thinking of moving, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. So that, and I believe that's why we've been able to help so many people. Now, when you compare that to other platforms, and I'm not knocking them at all, because we both have mutual friends that are very successful on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. But most people don't go to those platforms to research real estate or to research areas. You know, if people are in research mode, they are ready to consume a lot of content, not just like kill time. Now, if they find you on TikTok and they like you, I do think you are building a brand and a relationship that way, but it's, you know, that person may not be ready to buy or sell a home for the next 18 months, you know? So that to me is why I believe we're helping so many people initially, because we're catching them up front in the research mode before they've decided to choose a real estate agent. Plus, because most of them come out of state, they don't know an agent in Dallas, right? So again, it's almost, I think we just get all this stuff by default, really. It's not that we're so great. It's just that, you know, we just get it by default because we have so much value out there for free that it just, again, people are like, well, shoot, man, we've watched all the videos. But again, they do develop a relationship. But I don't know what you want to know as far as, 7,000 subscribers. That we did start December 5th, 2020, 0 views, 0 subscribers. And the channel has reached now, right now, I actually was speaking yesterday in Philadelphia, and I showed the numbers. We've almost hit 8 million impressions on the channel. And so, you know, that means YouTube has put our video in front of almost 8 million people in the year. Now that's pretty big. So that, to me, I don't see how you can cast a wider net than that as well. And so you're getting the eyeballs. That's just the same as making phone calls or knocking on doors or sending out postcards. All of those are impressions, right? If I cold call someone, even if they say no, technically that's an impression, right? So if I knock on somebody's door, if they answer, then that would be an impression. Doesn't mean you get anywhere with them, but you know, at the same time, that's an impression. But see, that can be effective, but it's different from being efficient. And so with that video getting out there, again, with 8 million impressions, and look how much it takes to generate the business that we've done. You break that down, we've gotten about 560 calls, you know, from the channel over the last year. And since we've helped 80 families, you know, if you look at a conversion rate, that's around 14%, which is really unheard of in any type of online marketing or, you know, really online marketing or almost sales in general. I mean, you look at any sales job or sales position, no matter what it is, 14% is a high conversion ratio. But again, I think that just goes back to the fact that we've put so much value out there. I mean, people literally tell us that we've watched your channel for 6 months and then we decided to reach out to you when we were ready. And that's the great thing too, because that relieves the workload from us, because we're not pursuing people. They consume the content, and when they're ready, they call us. Now, if we would have tried to capture their information when they first found the channel 6 months earlier, then guess what we would have had to done? We would have had to put them in our database. We would have had to call them once a week or put them on the email list or text them. And by the time they're ready to buy in 6 months, they might be tired of us at that point, you know, because we bugged them over the last 6 months and they weren't necessarily ready. But that's what I love about this. And that's why we don't try to capture anybody's information. We just have it all out there. With calls to action. So that way, whenever they make the choice, you know, they call us, and whenever they call us, they're 100% bought in at that point. You know, I think we've had two calls out of the 560 where they said, well, I'm actually talking to another real estate agent, you know? And so, and actually we converted both of them anyways. So you know, and I'll just tell them, I'm like, well, why would you even consider somebody else, you know? And then so, but you can joke around or have that conversation with them because the relationship is already established. So, you know, we're still in a relationship building business. We're just doing it differently, and we're doing it at scale, you know, and that's you know, our mutual friend, James Rimbert, says video is communication at scale. And so if you take that a step further, it's sales at scale as well. So if you're trying to get your message out there, it's just in a more effective way, and we're reaching more people. So, but otherwise, yeah, that 7,000 subscribers is a lot. I mean, the average YouTube channel, according to YouTube, that actually makes it to 1,000 subscribers, average takes them 22 months, almost 2 years. And that's if they don't quit before that. So to do that to get 7,000 in 1 year, that's pretty significant. And we've done it all organically. We haven't spent a single penny on advertising or trying to boost the channel.
So part of the story that I want to be able to tell through this series is you're doing business, right? Like there's actual transactions, there's actual real estate changing hands here, buyers and sellers and investors. Now you're covering every possible person, because I got to believe you guys have gotten calls from people in California that are like, hey, we're not moving, but based on your video, $300,000 goes a lot further, or anywhere, honestly, in Dallas than it does in California. So talk to us a little bit about the business success, and then we're going to take a hard right into content creation and media and some of the other stuff that you've done, because I think it's really, really impressive. So tell us a little more about the business, because again, my thought here is I don't want people to think that Levi's just here to sell a service. He's got a course, he's got Levi's conducting a ton of business. So talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to take a hard right turn.
Yeah, we've worked with pretty much everybody. We've sold homes over the phone. We've contracted. Our new record is Travis contracted a house in 3 hours from somebody contacting us, and they literally called us because they had lost 4 homes with another agent, and they finally found the 5th home. And they're just, the thing is I talk about this in my videos too. I talk about, hey, you know, it doesn't matter what the market is. The market is what the market is right now. What you need is the right team to win you the house and on the first try. And that's what we've been extremely successful about, is winning these homes. And I say winning because it is a war out there right now. We're winning homes on the first. We have not put anybody through buyer fatigue. The only homes we've lost is because the client didn't listen to what we advised them to do on the first try, but they listened the second time, and we were still able to get them the second house. You know, we've gotten referrals from Clubhouse, and to me, those are the most nerve-wracking, because I want to make sure I provide that service, because, you know, another agent's coming to you, trusting you with their, I had a referral, somebody's family member from Clubhouse, you know.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
we got them the house on the first try and got them under contract. It already closed. So that was great. So yeah, we've contracted on homes within 3 hours, within 12 hours, within 24 hours, because of, they trust us already because of the content. And people tell us all the time, they're like, we know you're working hard, because they see the consistency of the content, which is really key. So if you put a couple of videos out there and you're not consistent, nobody's going to take you seriously. And if somebody goes to your page or your channel or your feed or whatever it is, and they don't see consistent posting on there, they're not going to feel like you're going to be consistent with them. So that's the key point. And from that, I mean, those 80 families, that's worth right now, I think we just hit 44 million in production.
Unbelievable. I mean, I never throw the number out, because by the time I've seen what I think is the latest number, it's always up like 10 million. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop. I'm going to rely on Levi to tell me kind of where they are in their business. But first of all, well done, like job really well done, because it goes to show that you can literally you mentioned this, right? Hyper focus on one thing, creating content on one platform that has gone absolutely berserk. So amazing work there, obviously.
Well, and to that point, Matt, what I've seen, the most successful content creators for real estate seem to be focused and all dialed in on one platform first. They might be expanded to other platforms, but they are completely dialed in on one platform. So if that's Instagram, or it's TikTok, or it's YouTube, you got to pick your poison, right? Pick your platform. And I go master one first, and it makes it easier to branch off into the others. When you try to dabble in 4 or 5 at one time, you're just going to dabble in 4 or 5 at, at a time.
That's so true. So true. And we've talked a lot about the other platforms, and, what you've learned about YouTube and video content creation in general, you're able to take that to every platform now, right? It's just there's nuances, right? There's different things about TikTok that don't work on Instagram Reels, and things about Instagram Reels that would never work on YouTube Shorts. And so, but to your point there, your core competency now, right, which is video, it's not even YouTube technically, right? Video is your now core competency that you can spread across every possible video platform out there. And honestly, now audio too, because if you think about Clubhouse and the following that you built there, and the tribe that has kind of surrounded themselves around you. So this is like the perfect segue for that. You offer, because again, the reason I start with production is because I want people to understand $44 million in 1 year. Like, there are agents out there that will never do that. And Dallas is not the most high priced area in the country. Let's be super clear too. So let's build some context around that. But also, starting a year ago to now to create that type of business, talk a little bit before we take the hard right turn about your team, the structure that you guys have kind of built there, because I think it's also important for people to know it's not just you creating that, but also that now you've been able to employ people. Like, there are legitimate lives changed financially here, and it's not just Levi's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the reality is that's 44 million in 3 quarters, because we didn't even close anything the first 3 quarters. The first two deals went under contract in April. So remember, started the channel in December, and see what we're seeing now is we're getting almost double to triple the calls that we usually get, because we already have people prepping for March, April, and May moves. And so we didn't have any context to that last year because it was a brand new channel. We had 0 content on the platform. Nobody was reaching out. We knew who we are. But now that we've built this machine, it's this next year is going to be astronomical. So not only will we have the full year to sell, but now we have the momentum of all the people wanting to already prep for the peak time. Even though, we just put, we put 2 deals under contract this week. We'll probably put another 2 under contract this weekend. We just put our biggest deal under contract this week as well, 2.7 million from the channel. Executed it. It's cash. It's going to close next week already. It's a 10-day close. Got through everything. So that was a big deal. So that, and Travis and I did that the first, pretty much the first 6-7 months. It just got to the point where even Travis was too busy. I was too busy. We had to start bringing on some buyer's agents at that time, because it was just getting too much. And so I think the first buyer's agent we have, he made $40K this last month in commissions just from his split. And you know what they love about it? What Travis really, he's done 0 prospecting, right? He's done 0 outbound calls. He hasn't shaken a single hand. He hasn't kissed any babies. He hasn't, put out flyers. He hasn't knocked on doors, hasn't made cold, nothing. This is just, it's just like, here you go. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And Derek, closed 40K in commissions. That's his cut in November. And I think he's got 4 deals closing this month in December. He put 2 deals under contract himself this week. And then we had to bring on some more people, because now the spillover is even more. So and then we brought on the editor that I had been working with part-time. We brought her on full-time. We do have a full-time videographer now, which videography is different from editing. I don't recommend videography in the beginning, because I've done all of this on my iPhone. And so, which you can still do, but we're stepping up into a luxury channel. So we're starting to film luxury properties and have a separate channel for that. And so we're taking production to the next level for that aspect. We started a shorts channel, which is short form content on YouTube. But again, I didn't lift a finger to do that, because we're repurposing all of our long form content to feed that and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. So I'm not focused on those other platforms at all, but we're feeding content to them, because we're able to chop up a 20-minute video can be 21-minute videos for every single platform. And so we're doing that as well. So now we're expanding so much. We've acquired 3 different sponsorship opportunities that pays us right now $110,000 a year. And so, which is absolutely crazy. So that's the thing, is you have that opportunity on YouTube as well, because it's so hyper focused. You think about stagers, builders, title companies, mortgage companies. When you have that dialed in of an audience and you can show them 7,000 subscribers and almost 600,000 views. And I released a video 2 weeks ago. It's already got 23,000 views on it. And, they are willing to put up money for that, because guess what they're doing? They're paying money for flyers and postcards and shaking hands and kissing baby. And they can't measure that return. It's very, very difficult to do that. Right. But when they see a channel or a real estate team that is generating extremely specific information and content and business, and we're just handing it over to them. Oh, you need a stager? Well, contact this person. They're willing to pay for that, and that's where you have an opportunity as an agent. If you don't have an editing budget, then create the content and so much value that you get somebody else to pay for it.
Absolutely. Perfect segue, by the way, into this next thing. So in the last 5 minutes here, I really want people to know, and again, the reason we talk a little bit about your business and the production is because, again, I want people to understand that you're actually conducting business. You're a practitioner of real estate, but there is so much more. And this is what I love about real estate, right? You can be Matt LaMarche, the Porsche enthusiast. You can be Levi, the real estate agent in Dallas that does 100 other things. And so the sponsorships is a beautiful transition into what else does Levi do and what else can your team help with? Because there may be a real estate agent out there that's watching this right now that goes, yeah, 2 realtors talking. It sounds like every other realtor conversation I've had. No. There's actual value here that Levi's going to touch on real quick. And the reason that I promote you and the conversations that we have online and offline is because I can't believe what you've been able to build out in a year, not just in the real estate business. So talk to us a little bit about the other YouTube channel, but also the other platforms that you guys are working on, the other revenue streams, because I think it's going to, A, genuinely help people, and then B, it's going to spark ideas for people to go create their guide on gift giving or content creation or building a niche around what they do already, that I cannot wait to hear in the comments what people are going to tangibly take away and then run with. To me, that's the greatest sense of legacy I could possibly leave behind. So let's talk a little bit about the real agents and the editing and everything else outside of real estate that you guys have already built.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So the real agents, and that's real with 2 E's, like a movie reel. And so the real agents, right here, if you, any description in one of our videos, is you'll find we offer video editing as well, because this is actually, people ask me all the time, how do you do this? Well, to answer that, we decided to put together a course. If you follow the course, it's exactly what I did. It'll save you 6 months. It'll give you 6 months of what took me and condensed it down into 6 hours. So if you like efficiency, then I will show you what took me 6 months to figure out in 6 hours. So to me, it's worth it. And if you execute it the way I do, it'll make you $1 million, I believe. So that standpoint. So we do have a course that I walk you through how to build out your channel, how to optimize your channel, how to do everything. Also, the number one question we got from that was, how do we get editing? Because it's very, very difficult to find consistent, reliable editors that are affordable. So we worked out a deal with our team to provide that. And so now we provide video editing services, and it's not just video editing, it's full optimization. So it's a turnkey system to where you go through the course, you learn how to do everything. But again, it's not the best use of your time as an agent. So our team will not only edit your videos, they'll turn them over, they'll optimize them, they'll write the descriptions, the tags, the titles, the hashtags, everything that you need in there, and even upload them to your YouTube channel for you. So it's extremely efficient. To me, that's priceless, really, because here's the great thing about it is that's also a consistent budget. If you spend money on marketing, you could spend $2,000 a month in marketing and get no return. And what does everybody tell you? Well, you have to be consistent, spending money on marketing. And so then you got to spend another $2,000 or $3,000, or maybe you try something different. But, and that's the problem, is most people don't have a marketing budget in the first place. Or number two, they blow through it within a month or two. And it does take time and momentum to build anything. I don't care what you do, but I mean, yes, you can spend it on a ton of Facebook ads and get a bunch of leads, but they're not high converting and they're not hyper focused on purchasing right now. So it's difficult to work those. So we've done that. We've launched the other channels now to expand. We're going deep on video in Dallas. So yeah, YouTube, The Real Agency. So if you can go to therealagents.com if you want to learn about the course. If you want to go get video editing, you go to therealagency.com. And I think these are some of the most affordable prices out there you can get when you break it down. And it's an American, you get our video editor. So the thing is she's edited over 300 videos for us. So there's going to be minimal coaching. It's not like you have to train her on editing videos, because she already knows. And you can just say, well, I want something similar to Levi's, and, they can do that. But even if you want your own style or things like that, you can talk through that. But so that, I mean, the luxury properties, and that's what really we're working on. We're working on a couple of other things as well, but they're kind of behind the scenes. But ultimately I've been very fortunate to have several platforms lately. So you have to take advantage of that and use it whenever there's noise out there to be able to provide opportunity to expand. And so, but again, these were created, the course and the editing was created out of the fact that the questions came up over and over and over again. And I know for me, it's difficult to put all that stuff together. And so I would rather just pay somebody. Actually, yesterday at the mastermind event, somebody there was offering full package branding services and was showing all these examples. And I'm like, that's what I've been looking for. Like, I want a complete brand overhaul, somebody that can do not just like thumbnails, YouTube, but also Instagram, PDFs, basically make everything consistent and concise. And they offer one-stop shop custom branding. They even, had like color palettes and everything, explanations of color psychology, so that if you as picking your brand, you can choose two colors to, I was like, this is what I've been looking for, so when you have that value, then it's worth it, and for me to find something like that turnkey, that's what I want, because I don't want to try to piece together somebody who just only does YouTube or only does Instagram or only does blog sites, or, you know what I mean? And here, when you got full service, it's so much easier and so much more efficient. So that's what we try to provide here.
I could not agree more. And that's the only reason I asked you to talk about that, because honestly, that's who I was a year ago. I was like, God, man, if someone would just create a service where I just shoot the video, because I love shooting video. That's the best part about content creation for me, is the storyline and what goes along in the video, right? How I connect those little dots. And here for us a year later to be talking about this is like, you were like reading my mind a year ago. So I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you talking about your business and about the other thing, a billion other things you guys have going on. I always want people to feel like they can reach out to you, they can connect with you, again, whether they're a client thinking about moving to Dallas, or if they're an agent, or however they've gotten connected to me. I like to bring good people around. So what's the best, fastest, easiest way for someone to get a hold of you and to connect with you, period, end of story? Doesn't matter who they are.
Well, it's actually two different ways. Sorry.
Perfect.
But
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram. If you're a real estate agent, find me on Instagram at Levi Lascsak. Actually, now it's like when I've had people type in Levi, I'm popping up there right at the top. So I guess good thing there's not a lot of Levi's out there. So so if you just search Levi on Instagram, but if you're looking to buy or sell real estate, I would suggest, and actually I ask that you don't link this, Matt. I just ask people to search Living in Dallas, Texas on YouTube and find us organically, because that does help us out. We don't like to provide direct links, because the science and the analytics and everything on the back end, it's just better if people search and find it that way. So yeah, if you're interested in real estate purchase, then search Living in Dallas on YouTube. And I think that's the best way. I'm not going to sell. I mean, I don't sell people on why you should work with us. I say, go to YouTube and make the decision for yourself, because we put all the content out there. That's the best way to get to know us, and it's efficient for both of us. So do that.
The proof is in the pudding. That's right, my man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. If you're looking to connect with Levi, you got the 2 tickets there. So I really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a phenomenal weekend, my man.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
Have a good one. Thanks again.